on today's show. Ahead, the Clippers will be missing a couple of key stars. How do they make up for that production? Corey Maggette breaks it all down. Hawks wearing MLK jerseys tonight. Very special evening in Atlanta. And containing Trae Young and DeAndre Hunter, the Hawks pack some firepower. Welcome inside our studios in DT, LA. I am Christina Pink, joined by the one and only Corey Maggette. Hey, Corey, how you doing?
You know what? I'm smiling, but you just really can't see it, KP. But it's good to see you in the big chair. I can't wait to do this show.
Thank you. I am so happy to join you guys. Good news is I'm in the big chair. The Clippers are also riding a 7-game win streak. They are tied for the best record in the NBA coming into the night at 13-4. But the bad news is things just got a bit complicated for them as they will be missing several starters tonight. Let's get right to it. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and Patrick Beverley will all be out tonight, but we'll talk about those star wings who are now in the NBA's health and safety protocol. No Kawhi, no PG. As for right now, they will not be in Atlanta, did not travel with the team, but we found all of this out yesterday. Corey, what was your immediate reaction to hearing that news?
Wow. You know, you think about, if you talk about Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, both of those players combined almost 50 points a game. Both of those players, 50, 40, 90 players, and you miss a Patrick Beverley as well. Overall, you know, you need other guys to step up. You can't think about that we're going to take over what Paul George and Kawhi Leonard can do on the basketball court. But that's the reason why you have an entire team. This is an opportunity, as Coach Lue talks about, to adaptability, and this is your opportunity to do it.
Yeah, adaptability is so important. We know what those two guys bring to the table, but not to overlook Patrick Beverley. He is oftentimes the engine for those guys defensively with the energy he brings to the table. Pat missed the second half of their game on Sunday with knee soreness. He is out tonight.
Yeah, when you talk about Patrick Beverley, this is a guy that's shooting about 41% from the three. This is a key thing for the Clippers. When you miss Pat Beverley, not only you miss that shooting, but you miss that kind of that junkyard dog attitude. He brings that energy, like you said. He brings that toughness, and this is something that they will miss. But this is an opportunity for another guy to step up, like a Terrence Mann, to get this opportunity. Luke Kennard getting more minutes. The person that I look to shine in this game is Lou Williams. So it's going to be a combined effort of getting other guys involved. You know you're going to miss your stars. You know you're going to miss your three-point shooting. But you have to adapt in these situations.
Well, yeah, and we love seeing Pat Beverley shoot those corner threes. Also, such a great offensive rebounder from the guard position. But here are the starters for tonight's game. Again, missing 3 of their key cogs in that starting lineup tonight will be Luke Kennard, Reggie Jackson, Terrence Mann, Nicholas Batum, and Serge Ibaka. So, Corey, I ask you, because the Clippers could have gone a lot of directions with that starting lineup. They might have been able to start Marcus Morris, but they go with Terrence Mann out there on the wing.
Well, I think Coach Lue, this is an opportunity for Terrence Mann to get more minutes, but also I think as far as from a matchup standpoint, you got a point guard that can run around as far as defensively. He can get in the offensive rebounds. He can get on the defensive rebounds as well. He can probably push the pace from the tempo standpoint. But this is an opportunity. When your coach calls upon you, you haven't really been in the lineup as much. You haven't got a lot of minutes. This is your time to shine. So for me, I believe that Terrence Mann is going to take advantage of this opportunity. He's going to run the offense. He still has some leadership. You have Marcus Morris. You have Lou Williams. You have veteran guys on this team that will still try to direct you while the game is going on.
Now, you talk about veteran guys trying to direct you. The veterans throughout this lineup have been trying to direct Luke Kennard to shoot the ball for most of this season. They are missing so much scoring in that offense. It's tonight the night he becomes really aggressive.
Well, if you look at it from a statistical category standpoint, when Luke Kennard is inserted into the lineup, he shoots the basketball. Again, I know he got a call from Paul George and Kawhi. Brother, man, we need you to shoot the ball. This is another 40% three-point shooter. I love Kennard that he can shoot the basketball. But more importantly, Christina, he brings another aspect of the game of playing downhill, facilitating and getting his teammates involved. This is your time. I'm looking for Luke Kennard to shoot the ball 25 times. Just shoot it. They want you to shoot the ball. You have the green light from your coach to just shoot the basketball.
Well, yeah, I'm sure the text message thread, the group chat was on fire today of all those guys encouraging the players to go out there, be aggressive. against this Atlanta team. Now, we've got more coming up on Clippers Live as Jim Jackson joins the show. He talks about the Clippers' plans in this next road trip. What do the guys need to do to keep the streak alive? Also, remembering the passing of Kobe Bryant, and Corey Maggette calls his shot. Clippers Live is presented by CarMax, official used car retail downtown LA, and now joined by the one and only Jim Jackson. Hey, Jim, thank you for joining us.
You can't see my smile underneath the mask right here.
But we've seen it so many times before. We see that big cheese on you all the time, Jim. So, of course, the Clippers, I'm sure, were not smiling when they got the news today that they would not be without, Patrick Beverley, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, getting all that news yesterday. We just talked about it in here, but what do you think that impacts the Clippers throughout this road trip, but specifically in tonight's game?
Well, I mean, both ways. You can never prepare for anything like this. Now, again, teams go through this, and Corey, you understand this throughout the season, whether that's injury, low maintenance, or you may not have one or two of your guys. Okay, so teams are prepared for that. So the difference is because of COVID and some things going on this year, the anomaly feels different, but teams always prepare themselves for it. And the way you do that is by having, like the Clippers, reliable components that now can step in and still perform. To me, I think it's a great benefit for Luke Kennard, to be able to come in and play. A Reggie Jackson, to be a Terrence Mann, to be able to get extended minutes, in particular Jackson and Mann, to see what they can do in those extended minutes. We know what kind of player Reggie Jackson is because we saw him play at Detroit. We just haven't had a chance to really see that in essence here with the Clippers. A great time to establish the confidence with those players. But again, this is something that teams are accustomed to seeing sometimes due to load management and injuries.
Well, I totally agree, Jim. And you think about those guys that you named, Kennard, Terrence Mann, and some other players. But what I'm looking for is a Lou Williams to really emerge. This is someone that we know if Paul George and Kawhi are out, like we know tonight, this is a guy that can score the basketball. This is a guy that can facilitate and help this team win. You said Terrence Mann and Luke Kennard. This is your opportunity as far as from an adaptability standpoint to allow your stuff to play through it. Also, which is very important, this is a chance for you to regain or gain confidence from your coach. This is important. So he knows if there is a situation that I can call upon a Luke Kennard, I can call upon a Terrence Mann, and be excited that I can insert these guys in the lineup, Christina.
Well, yeah, and Ty said that before the game. He's like, look, I'm excited about our young guys. And I could tell you from covering the NFL all season, teams have dealt with all of the protocols and having to adapt at the last minute without entire units from receiving corps and quarterbacks. And teams have gotten accustomed to kind of expecting the unexpected when it comes to playing a sport in a professional league in the era of this pandemic. Now, today has been a very eventful day in the Atlanta area. It began this morning with the memorial service for Hank Aaron, the legendary baseball icon, one-time home run king, and civil rights figure who passed away last week at the age of 86. And tonight, the Hawks will wear these special uniforms honoring Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This is one of the Hawks' 4 Unity Nights this season. This evening, according to the Hawks organization, is centered around basketball and community while aiming to unite the city of Atlanta and committing to make positive change in their communities. The Hawks court tonight features a logo at center court with artwork representing stained church glass, another nod to Dr. King's legacy. Now, Jim, I bring you back in here. I love what the Hawks are doing, and obviously we just celebrated Dr. Martin Luther King Day recently. When you think about his legacy, what the Hawks are doing tonight, what is the first thing that comes to your mind?
Prophetic, more than anything else, just because of the things that and ideologies that Dr. King talked about back in the 60s in regards to not being judged by the color of your skin or your religion, your nationality, is by the content of your character. And we talk about that all the time. Laws cannot change perceptions of how people see each other, especially people in power, unless you change intrinsically who you are and how you view people, how you more importantly value people because they're a little bit different. Now you begin to see the change. In today's world, in 2021, what we saw in January 6th, we still see that subdivide where there's a group of people out there that feel that they are better because of their nationality, because of their color. And until we change that, and Dr. King said that, we're still going to be fighting the battle of racism. And that's, to me, from a prophetic perspective, him looking forward, saying these things need to change in order for us to be able to come together more as a people, not as individuals, but as people.
Well, I totally agree, Jim. And I really look at it, when I look at that, what the Atlanta Hawks have done to kind of get that court established. It's unbelievable what they've done. But it's more about the legacy of being unified. And when you talk about unified, it's unifying everyone. Is it black? Is it white? Is it Asian? Is it Hispanic? Whoever is unifying. And that's one of the things that Dr. King really stood for. This is a position, we are in a position right now where we can actually talk about this on air. We can be amongst each other right now. It's white people in here, it's Hispanic people in here, it's black people in here. And that's the positive thing that Dr. King spoke about, that he spoke about back in the 60s, was to kind of unify everyone. And we can see we're still moving forward, but we're not the way we were before. So I love the fact that we can still celebrate Dr. King and what he was trying to preach in peace and unifying.
Yeah, it's an important message, a powerful message, and one that needs to continue moving forward. I thank the Hawks, I thank the NBA, and Dr. King's estate for doing this throughout the season. Jim, thank you so much, my friend, for joining us. It's always great to hear your insight.
You got it.
All right, we got more coming up on the show. And their 7-game win streak. Welcome back to Clippers Live, presented by CarMax. The NBA is remembering a tragic milestone tonight. It is 1 year ago today that Kobe Bryant, his 13-year-old daughter Gianna, and 7 others were tragically killed in a helicopter crash in Calabasas. We all remember the stirring images as thousands of fans turned Staples Center into a gathering place to mourn the sudden death of an NBA great at the much too soon age of 41. We are here in downtown Los Angeles as a day that many are remembering the late, great Kobe Bryant. We bring in Jamie Maggio now, who was monitoring social media, and the Clippers remembering Kobe Bryant today as well. Jamie?
Christina, thank you. It was just such an incredible, tremendous, unfathomable loss of life that day 1 year ago today. And I'll, like many Angelinos, never forget where I was on that day with the Clippers in Orlando getting ready for a game, and just everybody playing with heavy hearts that day. And I don't know, it just seems like this year has gone by so quickly. It's been such a blur. It's hard to process, the loss. But of course, social media, lots of reaction to this day in memorializing Kobe and Gigi and the others that were on that helicopter. Paul George, who grew up in Southern California, idolized Kobe. He tried to pattern his game after Kobe. He posted this photo of an embrace saying, I knew I held on tight for a reason. PG actually wore 24 early in his career to honor Kobe. And of course, Lou Williams and Kobe Bryant both were teammates on the Lakers. And Lou Williams ended up writing a song. We know he writes songs. He titled it 24. That was a tribute to Kobe, and also has a mural of Kobe and Gigi at his home. So, a gaping hole left in the heart of Los Angeles for the community and, of course, teammates in the basketball community. It's a difficult day to remember such a special player and person. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Jamie. And Corey, you knew Kobe well. You were friends with Kobe. What comes into your mind today as many think about their relationships with him and mourn his loss?
Well, for me, when I look at this day, is really trying to think about the good things. I'm happy that the people that are surrounded around Vanessa have really comforted her. I'm really happy, Ron Pelinka and his wife, Kristen, have really just kind of showered her with a lot of love. And when I think about all the good times that I had with Kobe, I just remember back playing in a few of those off-season games, and to earn the respect of Kobe, to go into kind of like this military hidden background where you have this hidden guy that now opened up and kind of say, hey, come on, let's work out. I think about those times. I think about, Kobe and Vanessa inviting me to go to Disneyland to hang out with their family. And so when I look at those moments of Kobe, I have to look at the positive things about him and the love that he tried to show and how much he loved the game of basketball. And it wasn't just about, the men's team. It was more about the women's team. And when he retired, he went into that and really invested in that with Gianna at the Mamba Academy and really invested in the film industry. And so I just love that, most people think that when you stop playing the game of basketball, that's it. Kobe showed that it's more. And that's what I try to look at when I think about Kobe.
Well, yeah, such a fierce competitor, meant so much to the game. Clippers head coach Ty Lue knows well. He played with Kobe with the Lakers. He joins Brian Seaman.
Christina, thank you so much. Ty, we just heard from Christina and Corey talking about Kobe Bryant, obviously on the 1-year anniversary of his passing. Take me back to your rookie season. I'm curious, was there ever a moment for you where you felt accepted by Kobe? Because obviously that would be the case eventually. Was there a moment in your rookie year where you thought, okay, I've got this guy's respect?
I think from day one, just coming in and just seeing how I worked hard and try to do the things the right way. And it was kind of funny because we were two of the youngest guys on the team. So, when I came in, I was, had just turned 21, and I think he was around the same age, so me coming in, it gave him someone he could relate to, I guess, on a personal level. We hit it off as soon as we met, more so me, I was in awe of just being able to be there with him and Shaq and those guys. And he accepted me right away. And it was good that he did because he gave me a lot of confidence as a young player.
How do you get through the awe of seeing somebody that Kobe Bryant, still very young in his career, but still very accomplished? How do you get over that awe as a player?
It was tough. It was tough. Just, from seeing Kobe and seeing Shaq and, the Lakers and just what they meant in the organization. It was crazy for me. It was surreal. And like I said, him welcome me the way he did made it a lot easier on me. And Shaq did the same thing as well. So they really made my life easy.
Was Kobe, and no wrong answer here, was Kobe different with role players that he was, say, for an example, like a Shaq or those guys that were expected to get 15 to 20 points? Did he have a different way to motivate you versus maybe a Shaq?
He was the same. I just think, a lot of it came because the way he worked, himself. He worked hard every single day. The first guy at practice, the last guy to leave. And then, also just the way he competed in practice every single day. So I think he did it more by example because he was so young. He really didn't use his voice a lot because we had a lot of veteran guys on the team at the time. And so his was more done by example. And then, a year or two down the line, then that's when he started being more vocal.
Being a player and emulating his style and emulating who he is kind of as a work ethic is one thing. What were you able to translate from Kobe, the player, to you as now a head coach? How has that helped you, if at all, having played with Kobe, now being a head coach?
I just think preparation. I think just being prepared. Every single day you come to the gym, be able to, be prepared, show your team you're prepared. We're doing the right things. We're going to work. And these guys are taking a liking to it. And so I got to give these guys credit on the team. They've really been putting the work in. We knew it was going to be a process. And they continue to follow that process and trying to get better every single day.
So you have a process here today that you're going to have to go through. There's no Pat Beverly, no Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George, the last two out for contact tracing. With what little you may know, what can you tell us about the timeline for the last two?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Lawrence is talking to the NBA every day to try to figure it out. So it's a tough situation for us, but, young guys have to step up. We talked about it all year, being able to adapt and next man up. So our young guys are going to get a chance to play. Some of our veteran guys are going to have to take on a bigger role, which they can do. And, it's going to be fun for us. We got to go out tonight, enjoy the process, and try to win the game.
Absence creates opportunity. You have run plays through Kawhi, through Paul George, through Pat Beverly, through Lou Williams. Who are you going to be able to run plays through tonight with Kawhi and PG being out?
Lou, Marcus, like I said, Reggie, putting him in a lot of pick and roll situations. And then, playing through Nick a little bit more as well with that first unit. just playing them at the elbows, let them handle a little bit as well. So there's going to be a lot of opportunity for a lot of guys, and these guys are excited about the opportunity.
Ty, we appreciate it. Try to enjoy tonight. Come away with your 8th straight win. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Christina, back to you.
Thanks so much, Brian. Well, coming up next, it's time to call your shot, Corey Maggette. We talk about the 3-point challenge tonight.
Aggressive to the rack. Nasty. Paul George curling, catching.
Clippers Live is presented by CarMax, official used car retailer of the LA Clippers. It's time for tonight's CarMax Call Your Shot. The Hawks are allowing only 32% on three-pointers this season. The Clippers will shoot better than that tonight. Corey.
They would. This is disrespectful, Steven Rosen. They will shoot more than that.